to Just Us Thinking. I'm your host, Michael.
And I'm your co-host, Rebecca.
And I'm the behind the scenes guy, Mikey.
Behind the scenes guy, Mikey. Is that what your new title is going to be?
Sure, why not?
Okay. All right, behind the scenes, Mikey.
I think it was behind the scenes guy, Mikey, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he's wearing a red shirt. That means he's disposable. According to Star Trek, he can die.
Oh, okay. So are you?
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's going to live.
Yay.
Yay. All right. Today's episode is...
Flying high.
Flying High.
Yep.
All right. 6th episode.
Yep. Number
right.
6 in the books.
Number 6 in the books.
Or we're doing number 6.
Yeah, this is number 6 in the books. So it will be when we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have our weird news.
You do.
I've got one story. It was about, let me find it here again. Oh, yeah, Alabama. Alabama governor signs into legislation naming the Yellowhammer cookie as the official state cookie.
That is pretty interesting. What is a yellow hammer cookie?
The Yellowhammer cookie has I guess they're nuts from that area, peanuts and...
Oh, yeah, pecans and peanuts.
Pecans and peanuts,
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess those are both, recognized as, a historical crop in Alabama.
Okay.
So I guess that's the significance behind that.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
A lot more people know it now, huh?
Now, can I put sunflower seeds and call it Kansas cookie?
Maybe.
I mean, isn't Kansas a sunflower state?
I think so, yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So their state flour and their state cookie could all be together.
They could.
Now I want to try sunflowers in a cookie, just to see what that tastes like.
I don't think it would taste very good.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
All right, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Now, there's one other story that I had that I really wanted to kind of go over to.
Okay.
This is one of my, this one cracked me up. So the headline was, Bear helps itself to 60 cupcakes from Connecticut bakery, scares employees. Scares employees. When a bear breaks into your shop and you're no longer scared, that's no longer a headline.
All right.
Just saying. So apparently
Wow.
60 cupcakes.
I bet he had a sugar high when he was done.
Yeah. He's going to give Cocaine Bear a run for the money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that might be something we could capitalize on. Cocaine Bear versus Sugar Bear. Fight.
Till the death.
A death match between them. It was a black bear, so that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
So
I'm glad we don't have bears here.
yeah, I am too. So, although if the bear listens to this podcast, he might be going down to Alabama to get some of those cookies.
He might.
They like nuts and berries. That might be right up his alley.
It probably is, yeah.
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 All right. Well, those are my 2 stories.
Okay. Well,
So,
thanks for sharing those today.
well, my voice is kind of still going in and out. I don't know if you could kind of hear, but that does still happen a little bit to me.
Yeah.
Today is one of my bad voice days, I guess. So this is going to be mostly you on the airlines.
It's going to be mostly me, yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
All right. So where do you want to start?
All right. So we're going to start with buying your ticket.
That's always, you're not going anywhere if you don't buy a ticket.
Yeah. So you have quite a few options to choose from or avenues to go to buy your ticket. Most people use an online booking tool, like either a United, one of the airlines' websites.
Okay, so the airline websites.
Yep. Or you can use a travel agent.
Okay.
Or you can try kayak.com or orbitz.com. They're pretty much, I don't particularly like using those just because I've had issues with them in the past.
Isn't there like a Trivago or something like that too?
I think so, yeah.
Those are the ones where you buy them all together, right?
Right. You can buy the air, car, and hotel.
But you were saying earlier, you were telling me that you could get it from the website from the airlines, right?
Right. Most of the airlines' websites, you can do package deals on there now, so you can get your rental car and your hotel with them too. So
Okay. Well, and I meant to ask you earlier, do you get a discount for that?
they say you do, but it's probably not the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they tell you you're getting a good deal, but I mean, is it better? You should know, and you're the one that does all our travel when we go. So when we go, we normally drive.
Right.
We normally, and then you get our hotel.
Yep. I usually get the hotels. I'll book them through because I'll get some discounts as a travel agent, so I'll usually book those.
Okay. And then, oh, so you get the travel rate, you get a travel agent discount there, and then so we use that.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So, and then normal people, if they go directly to the website, is it cheaper to do the bundle or is it cheaper just to go individually?
Sometimes it can be cheaper to use a package deal
Okay.
with your car and hotel.
I think that's more convenient, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would hate to forget to book the car and then book everything else and I'm at the airport
Yeah.
and then you're stuck.
Right. And that's happened to a few of my clients. So they're like, okay, I'm like, they forgot to book their car and they're standing at the rental counter saying, hey, where's my car? I'm like, well, you didn't book one. So,
So your customers have to tell you, hey, I need a car for this too.
right.
Now there's also one other thing that when you're booking that kind of stuff, now there's an age thing there too, isn't there?
There is. Most car companies, you have to be, I believe, at least 21. Some are 24 to rent cars.
Okay, so know that before you get there. If you're 19, so 19, even though you're adult, or 20, that you're an adult, you can't rent a car.
Yeah, some places restrict it, some don't. So you have to really kind of watch to see if that location will rent to you or not. So
And some won't rent to you unless you have a credit card in your name, right?
that's right. Yeah, you have to have a credit card in your name. They'll do debit cards, but you have more of a deposit on those. So they're like holding your money until you bring back the car and they check it out.
Okay. Now, do hotels have that same requirement? I know cars do, and I've heard some people trying to check into a hotel and they were under the age of 21, and the hotel said, sorry, we can't do you. Do you have someone that's 21 that's going to be here with you?
Some hotels do that too. It just depends on each hotel where you're staying at. It's just up to because like a lot of the hotels are independently owned. So one hotel may have a policy and the hotel across the street might not have that same policy.
Okay.
So just depends on the hotel chain, the ownership and that kind of stuff.
So if you're under 25, that's something you have to watch for.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
You have to watch for that and know what kind of payments they take and everything. So
When you go to their website, like if I go to kayak.com or Orbitz, wherever I'm going, does it tell you that? Or do you know? I would check their website.
I'm not 100% sure, but there is some kind of like disclaimer on there.
Okay.
So,
So watch the disclaimers. It's really hard. I would recommend calling the hotel just to make sure, because there's
read
a
the
lot
fine
of.
print.
But you're not going to read the fine print. There's so much fine print on those websites. It's not funny.
Yeah,
I don't. No one looks at the terms and conditions. Everybody just clicks OK.
right. They
So
just
you give
click
away
that
your
little box.
firstborn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, that's buying your ticket. So now we have our ticket. Now what do we do?
So you're going to go to the airport, and the first thing you're going to probably do is check your bag.
Okay.
You usually have to go to the ticket counter for that, and there'll be like a kiosk where you check in, and you'll go up to the ticket gate agent, and they'll print off your baggage tags, tag it, and weigh your bags, and send it off back to the baggage handlers.
Okay. And then some of the bigger airports have outside where you pull up, you could just check your bags right there.
Right, the curbside service. Yep,
Yep.
that's really nice.
Yeah, I love that. So,
I've used that quite a few times, so it's nice.
all right. So that's so we're at the airport. We go through. We check our bags.
Mm-hmm.
They also have that little basket that you're supposed to, like, for carry-ons. I've seen that.
Oh yeah, the little make sure your bag fits in here so you can carry it on. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched one person like shove it in there, and then the bag got stuck in there, and they had to get security to help pull it out. Obviously, I don't think that bag was going on the airplane.
Probably not.
So why do you? I guess I can understand the size limit because there's not too much room inside the cabin.
Right. You have the overhead bins, and those are pretty tiny.
Okay.
So what they'll do a lot of days, or a lot now, is they'll do gate check-in. So if you have like a rolling bag and it won't fit in the overhead bin, you can check it at the gate, and they'll put it under the plane, and then you'll get it when you get off the plane.
Okay.
So a lot of people take advantage of that too.
Okay. Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So, and I know a couple of the airlines, and I read a story where the one guy, he had a scooter bag. I've never seen it before, but it's like a little. It has like these little. It has wheels. It has these little foot pedals that you can step out, and then it will like drive you. Almost kind of
really?
like a little Segway.
Oh, cool.
But those aren't allowed. I was told that when he went to go check in, they wouldn't allow that bag on the plane.
Really?
Yeah. So they wouldn't let that bag on the plane. And I'm going to gather because you hear the stories about those like those electric scooters and stuff catching fire.
Yeah, that's true.
the last thing I want on a plane.
Yeah.
So if you have one of those bags, don't even bother. Those are nice when you're traveling, not in an airport.
Yeah, they also have, if you need wheelchair assistance, I've noticed too, like there's a special code if it's a battery operated wheelchair versus just, like your regular one that you push. So there's regulations on that too.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna gather that would be kind of fun to. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun to go through and see how they. So it's a different designation for the code.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now we're at the airport. We got our bags checked.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's ready to go. We went to the little diner there to grab some food.
Yeah, or grab some coffee, but you want to wait till after you go through security for your coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you would recommend being bigger airports. You get there a couple hours in advance.
Yeah, each airport is a little bit different. You have your smaller airports, maybe like a Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where you only need an hour.
Okay.
You have airports like Omaha, where you might need an hour and a half.
Okay. And then like Chicago or a bigger airport, you might need 2.
Correct.
Okay. And it really depends on how many people actually are going there. So
Yeah, it just depends on the time of day and like how many flights are leaving at that time. Stuff like that, to where you just don't know how many people are going to be at the airport. So it's better be safe than sorry and get there a little bit early.
and take a book or a game.
Yeah, most people have their phones, so they'll play their smartphones nowadays. So
Yeah, it does make it a little different, doesn't it?
oh yeah, I remember it's so different traveling now than when I was 15, 16 years old. It's crazy.
I remember when I used to fly when I was younger, we had, and I don't even remember what it was. Maybe you'd remember the kind of books. It had the invisible ink pencil.
Oh yeah,
And the other ones, and then it was like a little book that you would.
activity book.
Yeah, a little activity book. And it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I remember those. Those were cool.
Yeah, I do too. Now, I don't really fly that often myself. I used to fly when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But most of my flying is pre 9/11.
Wow. Yeah, so that's been a while for you.
Yeah. Very few times have I flown after that, but it's just very few times.
Yeah, it's a lot more, it's a lot different.
We went from Omaha, and I remember going into Omaha Airport, and I went to Greenville, North Carolina for some training, for work.
Oh, okay.
And I remember the airport that we flew into, we got out on the runway.
Oh, yeah. You probably had like a regional jet and they didn't have the things to pull up to the counter or to the plane.
Okay, yeah. So they got stairs out there, and then we walked downstairs, and then we walked over to the terminal, and then we walked upstairs to go into the terminal.
Oh wow.
It was kind of weird. I was like, you can't put the plane up there, and
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Yeah, those smaller regional jets, they don't have them.
Okay.
At Denver, when I flew to Pueblo through Denver, and there you have to go down to a different part of the airport. And then so they have all these like little planes that you can, reach out and touch both sides. But to go get out to them, they had like the lines that you had to like walk to.
Like you're in prison?
Yeah.
They have the prison lines?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, wow.
To where it was like straight and then curved to like either way to the plane so you wouldn't get confused on where to go.
Omaha prisoner, follow the yellow line.
Yeah.
Yellow line prisoners.
Well, no, that was going from Denver to Pueblo.
Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That was probably one of the best flights I've been on.
Okay.
It was very turbulent and it was fun.
So you like turbulence?
I do.
You like the plane just kind of like randomly dropping and raising and going?
A little bit, yeah.
Like a roller coaster ride?
Yeah.
I prefer my roller coaster ride on a track,
Well,
not my
yeah.
airplane.
No. It's kind of fun, but
No, there's nothing about that that sounds fun to me. All right, so we have our tickets. We're through the first part of this, and then we got to walk up to the TSA, don't we?
yep, you're going to go through the lovely security lines. You can get like special clearance to go through faster.
So those are your frequent flyers, though, right?
Right, those are your frequent flyers that are traveling like every other week or every week.
Can the regular folks get through that or no?
They can, yeah. We had it through one of our credit cards to where we got the priority screening through our credit card.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that's not so bad. So
it's really nice to have.
yeah, because I see those folks, and like I was in line going through that, and I saw that speed line going through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember. I guess I would almost say I felt like I was in the car and that motorcycle's lane splitting.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? Why do you get it cut in front of me?
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter because, I mean, do you have seats on a plane now anymore?
Yeah. On
So you have
everybody
it-
except for Southwest. Yeah.
So you have assigned seats.
Correct.
Okay. So that's not too bad. So then when you go through security, do they like look at you, and are they still doing the profiling where they say they're not profiling, but if you're 3 shades darker than, glowing in the dark, then they're going to pull you over?
Probably.
Okay.
You're going to have you go through the body scanner.
I don't like that either.
Yeah. It's really weird. Like the first couple of times I had to do it, I'm like, oh, like really? Like, what is this? Like, is this really necessary? But then after a while, you're just like, whatever. It's just part of the.
My problem with those body scanners is now you don't see skin, but they're kind of revealing.
They can be, yeah, because they'll detect metal or something like that on your body.
They know where your skin is. I mean, some of those, I could look at that and go, yep, that's a woman going through there. I could see, she's well endowed,
Yeah. The ones I've seen just have like an outline of the body.
Well, some of those are like really crazy. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I guess they're probably different in each airport, but the ones I've seen have just been like the outline of the body. And then like if you have metal, for example, in your ear, it shows up like a box around your ear and they have to check it out.
Does it just show? I mean, I guess they don't have just the regular airport stuff there, or like the regular.
It's not like a regular x-ray.
Well, some of them, I mean, I will tell you, they're pretty revealing. I mean, I'm showing you a picture of one, and I mean, you could see.
Oh yeah, you can.
They're not as,
I haven't seen those. Okay.
well, here's my problem is I just Googled, airport scans, and pulled up pictures, and I could see, like, you're right. They show the little box in some of them, like this guy here that I'm showing you. That shows a little box where that little red box there
Oh yeah.
that he has something in his pocket. But if you look at him, I mean, it almost looks like he's naked.
I haven't seen those.
I
That's
mean,
pretty interesting. Yeah.
So
That's definitely
here's
a little
my
too
problem.
revealing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now here's my problem is I just Googled these images on my phone, and how do I know my image isn't on there?
Oh yeah, that's
That's a little scary to me.
that is a little scary.
Now, if these were all private pictures where they weren't accessible to the public, that might be, something different for me. But the fact that I could just look up pictures of people that went through these scanners,
I'm kind of curious on how they got on there then. Like, who's selling those pictures?
well, I don't know. That's your government.
Right, that's your government.
So, I think it's like a transparency thing that maybe they just posted and say, yeah, look, but I mean, I'm looking at some guy's butt crack
Yeah.
on the image, and I could tell. I mean, now perverts might like those.
Yeah.
I mean, they show just enough to, it's like lingerie.
That's true, yeah.
So
That's crazy.
that's why I don't like those. I don't like to go through those. If you're curious, Google airport scans, and then click on images. It'll show a bunch of them, and it almost looks like you're naked. I mean, you could see coming like it's a little blurry because clothes. It's getting underneath your clothes is basically what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, and I get a lot of that, but man, that could be kind of embarrassing, can't it?
Yeah. I bet.
All right. Well, yeah, I prefer just kind of the regular, metal detectors when you go through.
Yeah, they need to bring those back.
And I'm okay with a wanding afterwards too, where they just kind of run the wand over you. That's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not fond of the, full grabbing or,
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Now, I don't know how often they do that anymore, but that used to be a thing.
I don't either. It's actually, to be honest, it's been a while since I've traveled.
Yeah, so I mean, I see some joking T-shirts on there, and I've seen a couple of the little memes that go up that says "Airport TSA fondle me, please," and they take a picture as they're getting fondled by the TSA agent.
Wow.
And because they go pretty invasive, right?
They can, yeah.
That's a little bit.
It's a little scary. It's like, I get why they're doing it to a point, but I think they take it overboard a lot.
Yeah, and then if you don't like something they do, they can put you on that watch list and where you can't fly anymore.
Right. And they
So-
can ruin your whole day.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you don't know if you're on the list or off the list. Is there any way to check or remove your name from it when it's a mistake?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, what if you're John Smith? I'm sure there's a John Smith on the no-fly list.
There probably is, yeah.
I mean, I get security, but I mean, there's a limit, I think.
Yeah. There's like a point, like a line.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
That's interesting about the no-fly list. I'll have to look that up and see if you can actually look at it or anything like that.
I don't think you can. I tried to find it, and it was there's a couple fake lists out there.
Oh, okay.
So you have to. I mean, they kind of keep that stuff kind of secret. I think that's the government. They like to do that. So
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
all right. So we went through. So now we got our ticket.
Yep.
We checked our bags.
Right.
We got fondled by TSA.
Now, another thing to remember when you're going through those is make sure you don't unpack your whole carry-on bag, because it's got to go through the little x-ray machine and then you've got to repack it. Don't hold up the line.
What do you mean?
So sometimes if you have something buried in your bag and they have to look at it or go through your bag, they're taking everything out and then you've got to put everything back in, and you have people behind you waiting to go through too. So I've been behind people that just take their time, and it's like, you know what? Go a little faster.
Why don't they pull those people off to the side and have someone else do it while the rest of the line goes through?
Because that would be too easy.
That would make too much sense. Jeez.
Yeah.
Let's do everything the hard way here is what we're
Right.
going to do. Okay.
Exactly.
I think Jeff Dunham had his little story of, I guess, one of the puppet on stage, and I guess one of them had, I guess, whatever lotion he used to had, I guess, triggered something.
Oh, really?
And they open the bag and they see a little, puppet in there, and or what if a woman's taking something that's a little discreet or personal, their little Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
That could be a little embarrassing, right?
That could be, yeah. Or like I had one time, I had like a little 31 pouch, like a thermal pouch, and I had a bunch of protein bars in it. I guess the way it was, like, because they were all together, they were questioning that, so I had to like take that out, and like they had to go through that. I was just like, really?
See, that's something that they should, if they have to dig into someone's stuff, that should be more of a privacy thing. So let's go behind a screen so not everybody sees what you're carrying.
Yeah, then they'd have
Isn't
to do too many people, because they do that to pretty much everybody.
So apparently at the airport, your Fourth Amendment no longer exists. So that doesn't apply anymore, the Fourth Amendment at the airport?
It must not. It's sad sometimes, so...
Now, I guess that's where the security and your rights kind of clash. And I guess, I mean, I guess it might not be in a violation because by flying, you don't have to fly.
Right.
It's that's not something.
It's not a right, it's a privilege.
Well, traveling is supposed to be a right, so you're able to travel freely.
Yeah.
But that's also a private company. It's also government involved in there. Well, government can't violate your rights. So that very well, there's a loophole there somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, there's got to be.
But I also don't like the fact that so that TSA agent, how do we know that he's not, he sees something and, ooh, this girl's kind of cool looking, or I like this girl and I'm going to take a couple pictures from her image and that's going to be my bank material later.
Yeah, that's a little scary that could possibly happen.
All right, so but now that we're done through security, we're thoroughly violated.
Yep, you're gonna go find your gate, which like your smaller airports like Omaha, you don't have to look too far, but you do kind of have to know where you're going a little bit. So
right, so you have your gate number, and then you go sit there for an hour or so until your flight goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
yeah.
Play on your phone.
Yeah. Go through the little, I think they're called like Hudson Newses or something like that, where, they have your gift shops and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. We have Omaha Steaks here in Omaha.
There's
a little booth right there.
Yeah.
My favorite airport to go through is Las Vegas. You got slots.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
My favorite is Chicago O'Hare because they have Garrett's popcorn there.
Well, Chicago O'Hare has a bunch of stuff. You might like that. I hate Chicago. So
I hate going through it, but I love it because they have Garrett's there.
So the one time I flew through Chicago, which was, I flew in on like gates, I want to say it's like gate C something. Mm-hmm. And then I was flying out of like a gate across the other side.
D something?
Yeah. It wasn't even D something. It was like F something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was to the point where I was like on one side of the airport. I had to go all the way to the end of my terminal, go under that little escalator that goes underground. Mm-hmm. I had to go to the other side of the airport, come up, and then go all the way on the other side.
Yeah.
Did they not think this through?
Actually, I've seen worse.
Have you? Well,
yeah.
It's like I flew in. They're like, you got 30 minutes. I'm like, oh well, that's cool. I got time, and I'm like, I could go look around. No. No, it took me 30 minutes to get across that airport.
Yeah.
And, it was busy time. It was a busy time too. So it's like, you're waiting online for those little escalators and everything else. I'm like, oh, I'm not even going to make this plane.
Oh yeah, you should see the ones that you have to take the trains to the different terminals.
What do you mean trains?
Like you'll go up and they'll have like the little subway trains that go to from one terminal to another.
I did not know those existed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Trains, planes, and automobiles.
Mm-hmm.
You're kidding. You got to get a train to go get your air. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's how you know your airport's way too big.
Yeah, I think it's Detroit. There's a lot of them have the trains that you have to take, but you go up and they have like the trains that go from one terminal to another, and then they have one that goes to like baggage claim area and stuff like that.
Oh, that's ridiculous. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Those are fun.
Yeah. So now once after you're going through the airport, you're getting on your plane. How do they board now?
Most of them, they have boarding groups. So it depends on if you have airline status, if you have credit card status to get you the priority boarding.
How do you know if you have that?
You'll know through like your credit card statement, and they'll tell you get all these benefits from it. And so you get the information when you sign up for these travel perks.
Does it say priority on your ticket or something?
It will, yeah.
Okay.
So, yep.
So if your priority, you go in first.
You're in one of the first groups to board, because they'll usually board like first class, and then you got your like group 1 through like 5.
Now, do all airplanes have a first class section?
No, not all of them do.
Okay.
No.
So if you don't have a first class selection, then you're further back down.
Right.
Okay.
Like Southwest doesn't have any first class on any of their planes.
Okay.
They do like boarding by groups like A, B, and C.
Now, is A, B, and C your seat location or what?
It's your group, and then they'll call group A, and it'll be like 20 people. And then group B will be 40 people. And then group C is another 40 people or something like that.
Okay. Well, so once you're getting on, so you just wait till your group and then you get onto the plane.
Mm-hmm. With Southwest, you'll get on the plane, pick a seat, and that's it.
So Southwest, you have to pick a seat.
Right.
So that one is where you really want the priority.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Other ones, you just have a seat assigned, so it really doesn't matter.
Right. But you still, like United, you'll still board by groups like 1 through 4 or 1 through 5. And it can be based on like either the location or if you have an aisle, a middle seat, or a window seat. They'll board like the window seats first, and then they'll board the middle seats, and then they'll board aisle seats last.
Okay.
So not a whole lot of people really pay attention to their boarding groups, but what can you do?
And then you put your overhead on, and then you sit down, shut up, and enjoy the flight.
Correct. You listen to the flight attendant and their little safety spiel.
Okay.
And hope you get a really good one.
Just because we're on the subject, make sure that if you use a restroom on the plane, get up before you flush.
Exactly.
Otherwise it's a 2-hour delay and you ruin the flight for everybody.
Yep, you ruin the flight for 100+ people.
Nope. So airplane etiquette, once you're on the plane, watch what you do. Don't do that in flight either. That'd be even worse. Then you're stuck there. Can you imagine?
Huh. That would suck. Yeah.
Well, I mean, then you're not delaying anybody, but now you're stuck to a toilet.
Yeah, and you've got to wait till you land to get unstuck.
And then you got to like open the door and flag someone down and say, help.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that would be a nightmare in flight, too.
That would be, I've heard there was this one flight somewhere. It was an international flight. It was maybe 8 to 10 hours, and they got like 3 hours into it, and they had to turn back because none of the toilets worked.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
That could be a problem. That would really, really be bad.
Yep, so that would be bad. So what other things? So if you have kids, get them settled.
Get them settled, get them buckled in.
Would you recommend gum? Because that helps you pop your ears.
It does, yeah. So definitely have some gum, something to like suck on. They say that works too, so.
Okay. And that's definitely for the kids, because the kids are the ones that are going to
It's going to affect them a little bit more, yeah.
Right. Us older people, we, a little discomfort, we're used to it. The kids might start crying or whatever happens there. Or
Right.
if you have a baby that cries a lot, don't bring it on the airplane.
Yeah. That's not, yeah, try not to have it on the plane. Oh, I mean, okay, that
Ship
sounded.
it. Ship it. Don't bring it on the plane. Ship the baby. Fragile.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
That so came out wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, you think.
But no, I mean,
Don't have it on the plane, people. If you ask the maintenance crew to put it on the wing, that way if it cries, it won't bother anybody.
yeah.
The engine, the vibration of the engine, like a car, will soothe the baby to go to sleep, and everything will be fine.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
No. That just came out wrong.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It happens.
Generally, if you have a newborn baby or a baby that's that young that's not flying, I don't know. That's a tough call, isn't it?
It is, because my sister-in-law, she flew with both of my nephews when they were fairly young. She didn't have any problems. They settled down pretty quick and they didn't cry or anything during the plane. But then you have others that it just affects them differently, and they're hurting and they're crying, and it's just not fun for anybody, really.
Well, now I got to ask a question here, because those, when you're on the plane, the aisles are very small, right?
They are, yeah.
And you touched base on it earlier with I don't know what I'm trying to say here, the handicap, the wheelchairs.
Yeah.
How do you get those on?
The wheelchairs?
Yeah.
They'll usually have someone from maintenance put it on the plane.
But how do you get to your seat? If I can't walk, how do I get onto my seat?
That's a good question. I think they'll have someone assist them.
Do they, two people carry me on the plane? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or do they like have a special skinnier wheelchair that they can get you on?
They probably do, yeah, because they have those push ones that they can put you on to take you to your seat. Yeah.
Okay. And then they put your main wheelchair underneath?
Correct.
And then they're going to have to take that wheelchair, and I've seen wheelchairs all over an airport.
Yeah.
So I know that they're there.
They'll just have someone at your destination get it from underneath the plane and bring it up to like the jetway for you.
So you have to wait on the plane until they're there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately it sucks, but there's not much else they can do, so.
I don't know. I think if that was my case, I would probably not fly.
Probably not.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of times where you're stuck. Like if we were going to go to California and it was a short, we had to go there for a funeral or something that was, not a lot of notice, we would have to fly.
Right.
But for your niece's graduation, we drove.
Right.
We had enough time, enough notice. We got time off work, and then we drove.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I preferred to do it. Here in Omaha, it's kind of nice because you're right in the middle, okay. So you kind of go anywhere.
Yeah.
If you live in California and then you're trying to go to New York or the East Coast, that's not a drive.
Yeah, that's a long few days.
All right, so.
Yeah, I read an article the other day where one of the airlines, and it was an international carrier, where they're trying to modify the first row in economy.
Okay.
To accommodate wheelchairs.
Oh,
so
that would be nice.
Hopefully they'll start, a lot of that'll take effect with a lot of the airlines. So.
Well, movie theaters have those chairs that are like handicap accessible, where the person could sit in the chair and the wheelchair can go right next to them, and they could sit together, kind of deal.
Right. Yeah.
I would assume that they could do something like that for planes, right?
They could. I think that would take a lot of remodeling of the aircrafts, and some of these aircrafts that you get out of Omaha, they don't really have the room. So we'll see how that works. But I know with this was an international carrier, so they have more room.
So when it's basically you have to understand what the limits and restrictions are, and then you have to make that choice if that's something that, if you have a baby that's just going to cry the whole time, you might want to think about, maybe not flying.
Exactly.
Alternate means.
Mm-hmm.
The same with someone who has, fear of heights, or me, I don't have a fear of heights. I love heights. I just don't like planes unless I'm driving it, unless I'm flying it. If I'm flying the plane, I'm fine.
I can see that, yeah.
But if I'm not behind the wheel and I'm on a tin can with all kinds of other people, no, I don't. I could fly probably not commercially, but I could probably do like a private charter.
Okay.
Where you have less room, less restrictions. I guess I just don't like all the restrictions they give you. You have to do this, you have to do that. If you want water, you have to buy it back here for $12.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I got my Walmart bottle of water, that I brought from home. You could see it's not even opened yet.
Yeah.
Nope,
Yeah.
nope, you can't have that.
Nope. You have to wait till you go through security.
Which, I mean.
And that's another thing, you want to make sure that you're up to date on all those guidelines that you can take, because you can't take more than like 3 ounces.
Well, they change it all the time. How are you? I mean,
yeah.
the night before, you better do your, it's almost like studying for a test.
It's not that bad.
So anything else you would recommend when you're in flight? What kind of etiquette should you have?
Another good one would be don't recline your seat.
Why?
Because most of the planes, your seat your knees are going to be up to the seat anyway. Don't recline it and make that person behind you uncomfortable. I think they should do away with reclining seats.
Well, yeah, I mean, if your seat can recline and you have that option, I guess that's I don't like to sit straight up like that, how some of those seats, I mean, sometimes I'd like to get a little bit.
Yeah, I think they should be able to a little bit, but not as much as some of them can.
The problem is the trays are on the back of the seats.
Right.
Why don't they have those ones that come like right up from the seat, and like we have a couple of those tables up in our living room where they could fold down right beside the seat. They could make something that like pulls up and then goes over your lap, so it's not even attached to the seat.
They could, yeah. That would be nice.
That would make sense.
Some airplanes used to have them, and I think they did away with most of them unless they're in like that first row.
Okay.
And then I think they still have those in the first row, some planes, but a lot of them are on the seat back. So,
but if I want to recline, I should be able to recline. If they don't want me to recline, they should not have that option.
right. And that's what I'm saying. They should like have them recline just a tad bit, but not to where you're impeding the person behind you.
Well, I agree with that.
Because sometimes you can't put your tray table down. And then a lot of the time also, people don't listen to the flight attendants when they say put your seats upright, for landing and takeoff. And then they're like delaying landing or takeoff because Joe won't put his seat up all the way.
Okay. Well, no, also the like if you want to watch an in-flight movie, aren't those screens like on the back of the seats too?
Some airplanes have those, yes.
Yeah, I saw this one person. He was trying to watch a movie, and the girl in front of him had she was fairly tall, and then she didn't want I guess she pulled her hair out,
Yeah.
and it was hanging over.
Yeah.
That's also why they probably don't allow scissors, because I'd have cut her hair.
I think a couple of people have done that to other people.
I heard someone putting gum in someone's hair like that.
Or like their food, they'll mess up their hair so bad.
Yeah, well, don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Don't. I and I've seen the people that were actually kind of rude. They're like, "Hey, I'm trying to watch a movie. Well, this is my seat, and I'm allowed to do what I want with my seat."
I just don't see the point of putting your hair over your seat. That just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't to me either. But the one guy, he moved her hair and she threw a fit.
Yeah.
Marshall got involved, and he's like, "I'm just trying to watch a movie." She put her hair in. She threw a fit, and I don't know how it resolved it. So that was. People are rude.
People are rude. Just treat other people how you want to be treated.
Yeah, I guess, I get it, it's a small area and it can get kind of crazy, but yeah, don't do stuff like that, I guess is.
Yeah.
All right, so now we land at the airport.
Yep. So you're going to go down to the baggage claim, get your bags, and
You hope.
Yeah, you hope they make it. So one of the things you got to watch, your little airports like Omaha, you have 4 or 5 baggage claims, so it's, pretty easy to find your one. I've been to one where there's been like 12 of them, and they're all like numbered with your like flight information, where you're coming from, that kind of stuff, so you know where to go.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, most of the time when we go through, when we pick up someone from the airport, it has a little terminal. It'll tell you what gate they're flying into and what their baggage area is.
Right.
There's been times where I didn't want to go up to, have everybody go up, so I told them I'll meet you at the baggage claim.
Mm-hmm.
You're at baggage claim 6, that's where I'll meet you.
Yep.
So there, you could see that information. And then, of course, it makes a horrible noise when it gets started.
Yeah.
You could hear, and everybody's, oh, that's our bags. And then you're just sitting there just waiting.
And waiting. And waiting.
So would you recommend putting something unique on your bag?
We always do, yeah. We put a ribbon, or like they make the handle carriers that you can put on, or like a special like unique ID tag. So
Okay.
Yep.
Because if you have a black bag, or there's hundreds of black bags there, and
right.
you grab someone else's bag by mistake, that
Yeah.
can be a problem. So
That can be pretty interesting sometimes too. So
yeah, so having kind of a unique luggage
yeah.
kind of helps that out a little bit there.
Correct. And they always recommend, having like your name, your address, and phone number on there in case your bag does get lost and they have to bring it to you later.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always heard some people say take a picture of it so you can describe it if it does get lost. And then that way, because, when you're sitting there thinking about it, you're like, I know it's black, but I don't know what brand it is, or,
Oh yeah, that's
that kind of stuff. So we started doing that one year, and I mean, luckily we never got our bags lost. So
okay. Well, that's actually a pretty good idea. Take a picture of your bag, what it looks like, so people know, because sometimes the zippers could be like gold, brass, silver, black, whatever.
yeah.
So okay, that's a good idea. All right. So, and then you land and you go have fun,
Correct. Yeah. You go to the beach or go visit some family.
and then you do all this over again.
Yeah.
You have to do it if you have a return flight. That's 2 times you're
You
going
have
to do.
to go home.
Yep. So that's going to be something. So yeah, that's and so that would be flying.
That would be flying. So yeah, just bring your patience. Just be nice to others, and just don't be a jerk to anybody.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't fly. I haven't flown in quite a while, so
Yeah,
So-
it's been 4 or 5 years for me too. 5-6 years almost.
right. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
All right. So now, do you know anybody that what's a good travel agent to go through?
You can either go through World Travel Inc. Vacations. Their email address is vacations@worldtravelinc.com. Another one I also use is any like local AAA office is good too. So
Yeah, AAA is nice to use. I didn't realize AAA would let you book flights and do all that stuff. So
oh yeah, they'll do cruises, cars, hotels, almost anything. They do a lot of stuff. So
all right.
a lot of Disney, a lot of cruises.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be our show, isn't it?
It is, yep.
All right. What's our next episode?
Our next episode is going to be chiropractic care with our friend Dr. Chris Johnson.
Oh, that ought to be good too.
It's going to be a good one, yeah.
He's a character.
He is, yep. A good character. We like him.
He is. He's very. I don't know. What's the word I want to use is very. Like when doctorish, I guess is a good word for it. Which talking with him regularly because he is our friend. We get the doctor talk.
We get it a lot, yeah.
However, when I need the doctor talk, it's very helpful because when I had to go get the massage
Right.
and I had to explain that, so, it was very nice having the clinical terms for that.
Yeah.
I would sound goofy saying, yeah, I need my buttitis muscle massaged. No, he gave me the clinical term, a very, very clinical, very, I don't know, doctorish, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Very doctorish.
very professional.
Yeah.
I would say his professionalism's right on par with all the masseuses we had. So he'll be the next episode.
He will.
So, and Mike, you've gotten a couple of adjustments there, right?
I have.
All right. And I think you did he did your sports evaluation, right?
Yeah, you did my sports physical, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that stuff on that show there. So.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. That's going to be our show.
Alrighty. Bye, everybody.